Hello. Today with me, we have Peter Wies, our Group CEO from PMCC Corporation.
And on my other side is Dr. Vahid, our group mentor for project management.
The topic that we are going to discuss is about the rise in remote working. Actually, the rise in the remote project working has started even before pandemic, with other companies from the other side of the world. In Europe, they were providing services. In Asia or from America, they were providing services in Australia. But we saw that, I'm sure that you also heard about the recent report from Forbes that 97% of employees, they don't like to come back full-time to their working environment and offices.
Actually, Vahid, it's true as well. In some extent, it's also a bit insane that I'm going sometimes to the office to have a remote meeting in the client's office. So it doesn't make sense that I'm standing 1 hour in the traffic jam in the morning and in the evening going back home again 1 hour in the jam for actually having remote meetings in the office. So I could do that from anywhere in the world. And yeah, we also had, that's true, before the pandemic, we had remote meetings as well, because if you do a mega project, typically the mega project somewhere on a site infrastructure project, and then the headquarters, there are different locations. And then usually for a mega project, you have international suppliers and vendors for a project as well, where they are all over the place. So we had meetings, of course, online video conferences before. However, I would say during the pandemic and now 2 years later, I would say the professionality of the remote meetings, the virtual support of projects has improved tremendously.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, Peter, I believe that that's some work. Construction, testing, commissioning, quality, this kind of work, they really need to be outside.
When it comes to construction business, of course, the labor, they need to be on site. The machinery has to be on site and operated. Hence, whoever is taking the construction supervision or the reporting, then we go to the site. But we also use drones, isn't it, Vahid? We use drones to do reporting. So nowadays, I don't need to climb up any more viaducts or whatever. I basically go with the drone and I see even more because I have proper video recording from places I could never reach before. So I think technology really is there. It's a matter how we use it.
Yeah, but at the other side, a lot of planning, requirement management, risk management, to some extent project management, it can be done remotely. Even procurement, commercial, or a lot of services in a project that they don't need to be outside. For those scope of works, and actually from PMCC, we offer the virtual services, and even the virtual project management is more efficient for me because the team is a more flexible team. We can have the very good people, talented experts, and the flexibility of working hours. And also, if the team, they learn how to use some tips and tricks once they're working remotely or in a virtual team, they learn about communication, which it's a key in the traditional project management. It can help a lot to act as a normal team, even sometimes more efficient.
Correct. You are right in that point. I would say it doesn't matter if you are physically together in the same room or on camera. Communication is, I would say, one of the most critical factors anyway, because usually all the troubles in a project is due to miscommunication, isn't it? And then people misunderstand. So I would say communication is critical. It doesn't matter if virtual or in a room, it's the most critical part. However, I would say for successful remote support, always switch on the camera if you have a remote meeting. If you do a kickoff meeting, I would stay, if possible, meet physically, that you have the first contact with a person, that you get to know each other. And actually, if this connection, if this rapport building has happened, and then you basically go to your places, back to your site and whatever office or home office, and then you are working on camera, I think that's a very good way forward, isn't it? Once you have it, then you can easily work together. Of course, the technology, I would say, is there. That's not an issue. But as well, for remote working, people need to know the tools. They need to understand how Zoom works or Teams or whatever online software or collaboration software they are using. It is, to me, people have to know how it works, or how to connect a microphone or a camera to the computer, and do that before the meeting and not delay the meeting. So these are, I would say, standard or common sense tips, isn't it, to improve the remote working in today's business.
I also always encourage our team and colleagues to turn on their camera, because it helps human interaction. And also, when you're working from home, my suggestion is to do more regular meetings, but a shorter one. And also, I have to add that the personal calls will help you will feel how your team is doing. It's important to do that. And as Peter mentioned, the technology is there, and you need to learn about the cloud-based project management softwares.
However, Vahid, what you mentioned at the very beginning, that a lot of people do not want to go back to the office. To a certain extent, I can understand that, because it's also crazy to go to the office to have an online meeting when you can do it from anywhere in the world, isn't it? However, there are sometimes meetings, personal discussions, where I would suggest have it in person, face to face, because it adds a lot of value, isn't it? But like in your case, Vahid, you and me, we have been working now for a couple of years together, and we met many times where we flew to each other places, and we met each other, we had meetings together, we had dinners together, and that helped a lot to bond, isn't it? And now you are far, far away in Canada, while I'm sitting here in Malaysia, and we actually can have a conversation like you would sit here with me on the sofa. And I think that's the difference. I think that's exactly what bonds us, in a sense that we have been there, we had a good rapport, and when I see you, it's very easy to click and work with you again. Doesn't matter where you are in this world, isn't it? And that's exactly what we do within PMCC. We have a very strong team. We have been working together for many years already, and as well, I believe that remote work is perfectly possible if the team is mature enough. And of course, there are people, they take advantage, switch off the camera and do something else while the meeting is ongoing. But if someone really has a certain level of responsibility, and as well the work we do, Vahid, I think we love what we do, isn't it? So that's why there is no way we play around and misuse the situation. Hence, a mature team actually can work perfectly with virtual means to get the job done.
You have mentioned the right point. The team is very important. Technology, skills, communication, all these factors, when they come together, you can have a proper and flexible virtual team, which can be enabled to work remotely. At PMCC, that we are project management, consulting and coaching, we can provide and also teach your team and providing consulting services for the hybrid project management. Please contact us if you need any help.